Hi, I'm Pio9. Today I'm gonna tell you how to improve your trigger control for accuracy, speed, strong-handed, and weak-handed shooting. First, what we're gonna do is, well, of course, make sure your firearm's unloaded, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Don't shoot your neighbor. But one trick to dry firing in double action and not damaging your gun is using this half-cut piece of rubber tubing that people use for making holsters, and you just put it in the channel behind the firing pin, and it stays there actually nice and snug on most CZ models. That's what a lot of people use actually. So it stays there like this, and now you see that the hammer will actually connect only with the rubber, so I can have repeatable double action presses and without actually contacting the firing pin and without damaging the gun. So first thing that you want to do is to be able to perform a very slow, methodical, accurate shot with no movement in sights whatsoever. That was movement in sights. That was slightly better, but still not perfect. Better, but I was misaligned. Well, you get the idea. I'm sorry I cannot use my strong hand or two-handed because I messed up my thumb. It was dislocated, now it's all swollen and super painful. Hope I don't need surgery. Fell from the rollerblades in the skate park. Yeah, don't do that shit. Okay, so I'm gonna do everything weak-handed, but it doesn't really matter for the purpose of this video. So after you're able to do this, you should be able to do this both in single action and double action. With single action, of course, it's going to be easier. And in single action, you also can do this off the reset. Actually, you can do it in double action as well. It's just going to be harder. Something like that. So when you are able actually to perform this slowly, one trick to help you is activate your thumb. So when you're gripping the gun, your finger on the trigger, activate your thumb and kind of feel like you're pinching with your trigger finger to your thumb and your thumb to your trigger finger. So it's going to help you maybe a little bit more control this side motion. Yeah, so, but this is just a prerequisite. The drill is not really this. The drill is to do this at speed, and by speed I mean you need to be able to start with the finger on the trigger, with the double action maybe take the initial slack but not really get any movement of the hammer. For strikers it's going to be pretty much finger on the trigger, like an example for a Glock, maybe take off the slack of the trigger safety, but really don't put any pressure on the trigger itself. And then on the beep, you must be able, while already on target, perform this shot clean without disturbing the sight picture while the beep is still going. That means 0.3 seconds. So it's going to be something like this. And you saw I jerked it. So I'm going to be using for timer timer.dryfire.ninja. I need to work on this thing and integrate it with Dryfire Ninja, but okay. Basically what I'm using is make ready and IR ready are disabled, standby enabled, delay 1 second, beep delay 2 to 4 seconds, and no part time, so I deleted the part time. Save that and then repeat it like at least 50 times. Standby. And this is what we're gonna do. Well, I was late for that. Standby. Late, jerked. Much better. Ah! Well, you get the idea. So you're going to be doing this with both, with all three actually. Weak-handed, strong-handed, and my little hands, and freestyle. And one thing that I do this when I'm not injured is I'm gonna actually start my dry fire session with these little guys, and I have shit ton of them. I have number 2 that I'm unable to close, Captains of Crush. Then I have a Chinesium 200 that I'm still unable to close. I have 1.5 that I can close like up to 5 times if I'm nested. Then I have Chinesium 150, which is probably like 120. And then I have adjustable thing, and I have a stress ball that I lost somewhere. So basically what I'm gonna do is, in my dry fire, I will start with the heaviest, the number 2, and try as hard as possible to close it. Like 1, 2, 3, and then immediately go to slightly lighter one, 200, and do like 5. Right now actually I injured my left hand as well too, but it's not as bad. So usually this is gonna be like 3, 5, then on Captain's Crush 1.5 I'll probably close it like 3 times and then 2 times more, up to like 8 attempts. Then I go to 150. This one's gonna be like 8 to 12. Basically I'm doing the maximum amount of reps that I still can, and it like doesn't cause much pain in muscles. Then I will go to adjustable, and I will start with its full weight, which starts at 90. Do maximum amount of reps there, then middle, and then the very end of the spectrum, 20 pounds. And 20 pounds I will do like 100 times. So after that, my forearm is going to be in pain. It's going to be just like screaming in agony. After that, I will start stretching the fingers. I usually do it like first all 4, and then by 2. So 2 on the side, 2 middle, 2 on another side. And just wait a little bit for the muscles to recover. And after this, I will do the dry fire. I'm going to be using my rubber tube. I'm going to be doing trigger control in single action first, then a double action. Always trying to work on the perfect grip. So as always, high as possible, stuff like that. I'm going to be doing it in both right hand and left hand, or we can do like exercise left hand, do left-handed dry fire, then exercise right hand, do the right-handed dry fire. And start with single action, continue to double action, then do some rapid dry fire in double action, because it just gets boring real quick if you just do trigger control. So I'm going to be doing like, it's really hard to aim through the camera. So do some reloads, then get into the right hand, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So what we're doing here is we have resistance training with the grippers, so you will develop strength in your grip, and that will allow you to use less percentage of the actual power in the muscles available, which means less shaking, which means less activation of muscles that don't need to be activated while you're just doing the trigger finger thingy. Basically, yeah, trigger finger isolation. Just developing strength in your grip helps with that a lot. And yeah, I will dry fire, rapid fire mostly in double action. Then when I get tired and I start getting either trigger freeze, so I don't reset something like this, when I don't reset the double action trigger all the way, I will start doing in fake single action. And fake single action is basically this: your first shot, like let's say you draw, your first shot is going to be double action, and then it's going to be, let's say 3 on each target. It's going to be and then if you reload it, it's going to be again first double action. You get the idea. So yeah, basically that's it. And double action with a PO9 with yellow spring is actually going to be an exercise by itself, but it's not enough to really improve your grip and really improve your trigger control. So I recommend using grippers, and don't just buy a heavy gripper that you can only close like 3 times. even if you can close it like 16 times, it's going to be much less productive than having a gripper that you can close like 100 times. If you can close it 100 times and your whole forearm gets inflamed and swollen and you have enough protein intake, it's going to be much better because you're going to be developing a lot of new muscle tissue, like your all fibers are going to be engaged. It's much better than just like closing it 3 times. And by the way, grippers are a little bit dangerous if you just go full fanatic and you try to, like, let's say you're aiming to close number 2 and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna close it, and you really try it, and you do it like every day. It's pretty easy to develop some tendonitis, and it's gonna be a bitch because it hurts, it doesn't allow you to shoot normally, and it takes forever to recover, and to recover you need to completely stop all activity, which means no shooting, no dry firing, no nothing. And if you have a really bad tendonitis, even holding a gun will cause you pain, and even this will not allow you to work further on your trigger control and stuff. So don't go crazy with this. Start slow. Maybe start only with double action trigger, or the alternative for striker would be dry fire mag. It's a little bit more janky than using double action, but it will help you develop the muscle strength that you need for good trigger control. Okay, I hope that helps. And this app that I'm using is DryFire Ninja. These features are now free, so feel free to use that if you want. All right, thank you for watching.